Hey, it's Mega, aka the Art Messiah, here to save you from your art sins. Welcome back. Today is the last day of the 30 Days of Making Comics Challenge, which I'm super excited about because we're going to be moving into some new things. Also, we're getting closer to 100 subscribers, so I want to do something special for that. I haven't decided quite yet what that will be, but stay tuned, stick around, and we might do maybe a giveaway or a fan art or something for that 100 subscriber video. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about how and where to publish your comics. So if you followed along so far, hopefully you're starting to create some comic pages. You have an idea of the script, story, character design, all those elements, and you're starting to put those things together. So the essential and critical step now is to find a place to post it and start building some fans and start posting your comic online. So I've pulled up 4 websites that I am somewhat familiar with. We're going to go through the pros and cons of each, and if you know any additional sites where you can host and post all your comics, please share in the comment section. Okay, so first up on the list is Tapas. It is a website / mobile app for comic creators to be able to host their own indie comics and for people to read, and it's gaining a lot of popularity right now, especially since it's accessible through phones and iPads, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's very easy to get in and just start reading your favorite comics. So one thing that I want to point out for Tapas is that there's different kinds of formats that you can publish in. So typically and traditionally, if you're going to physically print, you create your comic in pages. However, in Tapas, you can kind of create infinite scrolling comics. So I'm going to show you 2 different comics, 2 different styles, and kind of walk you through the publishing process. So here's one that I just pulled up on the front page. If you kind of go through it, you can just infinitely scroll through the panels, so it's a little bit different format than a traditional comic. And so this makes it really easy to read on mobile, but you also have to, compose your panels different. You might have to thumbnail different if you are posting to Tapas. Okay, so that's one format that you can kind of follow. It's kind of one benefit of this mobile kind of infinite scrolling. Here's one that's a little bit more traditional in how you create the pages and how it's posted. So you can definitely do both. However, if people are reading it on mobile, the infinite scrolling really works pretty well. So this is more of like a standard kind of page where you do have page and panel layouts that you would traditionally see. So I think the pros of Tapas is that, one, there's already a large audience on there. It's gaining popularity, so you can start to get some eyes on your work pretty quick, and that's obviously really great in terms of starting out with your comic. And it's fairly easy to post to as well. I've started uploading my series on it. However, I will not be using Tapas because of some other reasons I'll get into when I get into the cons. So if you come over to the dashboard section, you have your profile, and from here you can manage your series, and you can upload and all kinds of things. So here's a series right here. You can click the edit series, and you can click the plus button to add a new episode, in which you just pull in your PNGs or your JPEGs of the comic that you are currently making. So it's very straightforward. It's got a big platform already, meaning there's a lot of people on there, looking for content. So, it's easy to get eyes onto your work. So, pretty good website for beginners to kind of get involved in it. Now the cons, and this is going to be the same for the next one that I show as well, is that you can't really include animation, you can't include GIFs, you can't really customize your website or your series. You really just have to post in this format, and it's very, let's say, strict and kind of controlled, so you don't have necessarily that much freedom in how it looks overall. So that's why I say this is kind of beginner level. You're building an audience, they already have a platform for you to publish your comics, and you don't have to worry about HTML, JavaScript coding, or any of that kind of stuff. Just an easy platform to go ahead and get started. So the same thing with this next one, which is WebToons. I'm not sure which one has a larger readership. I'll probably go ahead and just add that information in after this. But they're both honestly pretty big. Most people mirror their comics, so if they post on Tapas, they're gonna mirror that comic on WebToons because it's the same format, the same kind of style. Again, super easy to post your comics. Yeah, the format of that infinite scrolling. It has a mobile app, so readers can get into it very, very easily. So again, the dashboard is really similar. You can create a new series and you can add an episode, and when you add an episode, you really just pull in your PNGs by either dragging and dropping them in or selecting that file, and then you go ahead and add a description and you're done. So really straightforward, really easy to use. So those two websites, WebToon and Tapas, I would recommend for beginners, but I would also recommend that you plan your comics around their format, right? Because it can be time consuming and difficult to take, you know, your normal style of page and then convert those panels into a vertical infinite scroll for the mobile version. So that's just something to keep in mind. Now the last thing I want to jump into, last two sites were kind of, I guess, the original comic hosting sites. There was quite a few of them actually, and some of them have dropped off a little bit, some of them have changed owners and all kinds of stuff. But I'll start with my favorite one, and then I'll start with my least favorite for now. So I've been on Comic Fury for a while now. If you have been following me, you probably already know that. And what I like about this site, even though it's not perfect, and there's plenty of you know, differences in skill range, I like how it's very customizable, and when you do make a comic, you're given your own actual website, so that you can customize fully. You can customize the HTML, the CSS, and the JavaScript, so you can really make the site your own. So I'm going to go ahead and click on mine just to kind of show. It's very rough and I need to polish it up, but just to give you a general sense. So you can change the background, you can change the headers, you can change the font styles, you can change what types of pages you have, like your archive or your cast page or your search, you know, your subscribe button. Everything is very customizable. And as you can see, you can add, doesn't have to just be PNGs, you can use GIFs, you can use HTML5 elements. You know, this is a full-fledged website, so it's kind of like, if you, one, either have an audience already, then, you know, you have a platform that's customizable. Or if you need the flexibility of having a website, then I think it's very important to make use of a site like this. And if you're, I mean, you can always do it on your own as well. You can like completely make a website from scratch, but this is kind of like that intermediate stage where you have the benefit of an audience already being on Comic Fury and that community, and that's in some ways it's similar to Tapas and WebToons. You already have that audience, you already have that community, but then you also have those website elements where you have that flexibility and you can create your own pages, which is of course really good. So the last one I'll kind of bring up is SmackGeez. This one's been around for a while as well. I've heard that it's changed like ownership and they've made a lot of changes, and I know a lot of people have left because of that, and so I don't think it's necessarily as good as it was before, but I think it's still worth checking out. It may have the features and stuff that you're looking for. So, you know, that's my take on the different places where you can publish. If you have any questions about publishing to any of the sites, then let me know, and I'll make sure to kind of break down each one individually and how to format the pages. I'll be making videos on that, but I just wanted to introduce some sites that you guys can start to look at, you know, as you start making pages, so that way you can start publishing your comic online for all to see. But anyways, that's all for today. It's a quick video. Just wanted to kind of wrap up this series by sharing where you can publish your comic. Hopefully you guys learned something about the comic making process. Of course, there's much more to talk about. But the next series I'll be starting, it will be talking about drawing and drawing fundamentals, all the way up into like composing full-fledged panels. So be on the lookout for that. And of course, I'll be giving out tips and tricks still about making comics and writing, as I still learn some stuff. But that is the 30 days of making comics for right now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned for future and upcoming videos. We got more artist interviews as well. So plenty of new content. So until next time, I'll see you guys, and peace and love.